Happy Sunday, we're starting on our backs. And so just let your knees knock together. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And just start to breathe against the space from your belly to your hand, from your ribs to your hand, from your chest to your hand. And you can have your eyes closed or slightly gazing down to the tip of the nose. No stress in the eyes, the neck, the shoulders, the jaw. The back of your body soft and relaxed. And just start to come into your space as you start to expand the breath, grow the breath. And again, still keeping the breath sweet. And just, maybe you want to set an intention this morning. Maybe you just want to find your way onto the mat and find some peace there. Let's take just a few more rounds of this breath here, just a welcoming breath. And then release your arms down by your side or out by the sides a little bit wider, and just palms up. Let your knees fall over to the right side. Take your right ankle above your left knee. It doesn't have to be on the knee at all, just above or below or just hanging off. You can adjust the bottom shin if you'd like to make it more parallel to the front edge of your mat, or just keep it where it goes. No extra force, so just the weight of your leg and gravity pulling the leg down towards the floor. The foot may touch, or the knee may touch, but it may not. So who cares? Particularly if this is, your first venture out of your bed this morning. There's no rush to get there. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Take your feet the width of your mat and drop the knees over to the other side. Take your left ankle above the right knee. And then make any adjustments you want to on the outer hip, the shin. You can also support your left leg right now with either leg, but with a block or a bolster underneath you. And then release that, come on back to center. And just draw your knees into your chest, keep them wide. So hug the knees on the outside of your rib cage, bring your tailbone down towards the floor. Right hand on right knee, left hand on left knee, and make some circles through your hips, pushing and pulling away, all at the same time. And then reverse that. Come all the way back to center, draw your knees close together, take your hands on the top of your foot, shin or ankles, and lift your head and shoulders up, round and curl. Pull the belly all the way in. This one, go ahead and lift your hips up a little bit. It's okay to have it a little bit closer. Breathe in. And exhale, head down. Keep the knees close for one more breath. And now on the exhaling breath, roll yourself up. Cross your legs, come onto your hands and knees. So wherever you are in this place, I'm going to take a pad underneath my knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Tuck your toes for a moment and let your belly drop. And just broaden the collarbones, press through the earth or through the hands to the earth. And spiral your upper shoulders out a little bit so the elbow creases turn a little bit forward. Good. Keep the toes tucked under, bring your chin to your chest, and round your spine. Pull the belly in, tailbone down, and push the earth away. Spread your shoulders from side to side apart. Inhale, dip your belly, arch your back, let your belly just hang down. Stretch the front side of your body. Exhale, push away, round and curl. Tuck the tailbone underneath you. Spread your shoulders apart. Let your head hang down. Inhale, arch your back, and now take a few rounds on your own. Cat and cow. Arch your back. And we'll take just a few more rounds of your breath. The next time you come to your arched back with your belly down, stay there for a moment and then push into neutral so your back is flat like a tabletop. Step your right leg back behind you. You can keep the left toes tucked under. Tuck the right toes under, keep your hips squared. And then take your left arm out in front of you, thumb up to the ceiling. And now I'm going to release my left foot. I feel more stable that way personally. Lift the right leg up parallel to the floor. Bend the right knee and reach behind and just tap your foot with your hand. And then bring it out and extend it. Good. Bend the knee, reach around, tap, and then extend. One more time. This time we're going to hold on. Stay back. If you can grab the foot. Kick the foot away from you, lift your heart up. Try to level your knees and hips in the same line. Big breath in. Good. Big breath out as you release the arm and the leg. Bring your hands to the floor. Step your right foot on the outside of your right hand and snuggle your left knee back a little further. You can be on the blocks. Turn your right toes. Let's keep them forward for now. Hug the knee to the shoulder. Come forward of your left knee, so snuggle it back more and more so you get a little length in the left side through the hip. Breathe in, breathe out. Just broaden your collarbones. Have a little bit of that upward back bend, right? So we're not collapsing this way, we're extending. Take another breath. Good, now take your right hand on your right knee and just turn your torso to the right. Keep sinking your left hip down. Breathe in, breathe out. Hug the right hip all the way towards the midline. Take another breath. Good, release the breath, release the hands inside the foot, tuck your left toes beneath you, lift the knee up and step into a downward dog, just right into dog. Press your arms to the earth, biceps by the ears, and then, most of you, at least on my Zoom, are experienced enough to know where the proper footing is, where the hand should be, and find your space for your downward dog. Come onto your tippy toes, make your legs nice and strong. And then lower the heels as you bring the chest towards the thighs, head hangs in between the two arms. Spiral your upper shoulders open. Firmly press in between the thumb and the forefinger. One more breath. Good. Inhale, bring the knees to the earth. Find your neutral position, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Step your left foot back behind you, tuck the toes. Again, you could have the right toes tucked under or press the top of the foot, shin down. And then drop the left foot down so the hips are parallel or level. Right arm out in front of you, thumb up to the sky. And then float the left leg up. Bend the left knee, kick the heel towards the ceiling. And then reach hand and foot to tap. And then extend. 2 more times. Tap and extend, tap and reach. Extend. This one we're going to hold on to. Tap and reach. Kick the foot into the hand. Lift the heart. Drop the left foot down. Arch your back. Kick the foot away. Take another breath. Good. Exhale. Extend arm and leg. Hand to the floor. Step the left foot outside of the left hand. Bring your right knee back further. So you can see I'm not directly on top, hip on top of the knee, right? Got it back a little further so it's a little bit straighter from my hip to knee. And breathe, open your heart. Keep your toes pointing forward for the first round of this. It may be the last round, but it may be the first round. Broaden your collarbones, drop your hips low. Good. Take your left hand on top of your left thigh and begin to rotate the torso. Relax your shoulders. Press through the top of the right foot and shin for a little bit of information into your shin, into your hip. 2 more breaths here. Keep dropping your right hip lower. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Come back to center. Right toes tuck. Downward facing dog. We go. Hips in the air. You can bend one knee at a time. You can settle into it. You don't have to just get into the place and stay. Right? If it feels good to walk it out, walk it out. Push through the heel of your hands. Lift your hips up, biceps by the ears. Lower your heels towards the floor. Shake out your head, yes and no. Rise on your tippy toes. Bend your knees, look forward. Little tiny steps to walk your feet all the way to the top of the mat. Hands on the floor, blocks your shins, lengthen your spine. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, take it to your shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bring it all the way to standing. Bring your arms up overhead. Take the prayer to your heart center. Empty the breath. Release the arms by your side. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, and step into downward dog. Stay in your dog. One more breath. Good. Inhale to a high plank, shoulders over wrists. Belly lifted, tailbone drops under. Round your upper shoulders. Bend your knees and hover them off the floor. Then straighten them. Push back, downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale on your toes, bend your knees. Now you can take yourself to the top of the mat, however you choose. When you get there, halfway lift. Exhale, let it come down to the floor. Inhale, bring it up to standing, bring your arms with you. Exhale, take the prayer to your heart. Release your arms. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Step the other leg back to downward dog. What do I know? Right? We have a more habitual side. We tend to go to it all the time. So if it was right, go left. If it was left, go right. And then same dog or take a little bit of play there. Inhale on your toes. Shift to your high plank. Broaden through the collarbones. Bend your knees and hover them off the floor, right underneath you. Straighten the legs. Push back, downward facing dog. Rise high on your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Take yourself to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand. Prayer to the heart. Arms by your side. Don't know why there was a rain thing today. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, fold to center, hands to floor, shins blocked. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to downward dog. Inhale to a high plank, bring your tailbone underneath you. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, extend the knees. Exhale, hips up. Inhale on your toes, make your way to the top of your mat, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to stand, bring the arms with you. Exhale, prayer to the heart. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor, shins blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, other leg steps back, downward dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, knees hover. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, downward dog. Good. Inhale on your toes. Bring your feet together. Float your right leg high in the sky. Bring your right knee to your chest. Come forward to a plank. Step your right foot through. And breathe. Low lunge. Right thigh parallel to the floor. Hips drop down and center. Left hand on the floor block. Open up. And this time take the arm to the sky and twist. Reach your fingers broad to the sky. Keep hugging your right hip in. Keep engaging your back leg. Inhale. Reach all the way up and all the way down at the same time like you're being pulled apart. One more breath. Beautiful. Exhale. Hands down. Straighten your front leg. Fold over it. Don't worry about if it gets straight or not. Just fold where you can. Use the blocks. Will help you in case you need a little bit of assistance to raise the floor to you. Inhale. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, turn yourself to the left side of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips and stand all the way up. Good. So I know my back is to you, but I think you can see me at least from the side. Bring your arms shoulder height. Turn your right toes to the right. And notice when you do that, the right hip dips a little bit lower and the left hip lifts a little higher. So put your hands on your hips for a moment and see if you can just level out the hips. Then bring your arms up shoulder height again. Turn your right toes forward, left toes to the front edge of your mat. Move your hips to the left now. Reach out of your torso, so simultaneously reaching, 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 reaching. Right hand inside, outside, foot shin or block. And the left arm comes up over your shoulder. Breathe in and out. Again, tucking the tailbone underneath you, so as if you had a wall behind you and you were leaning the back side of your body into it. Breathe in and out. Feel like you're being pulled to the sky and you're lifting out of your waistline. One more breath. Good. Exhale, bring your left arm over your head and then spin yourself back to the front of your mat. Lower your left knee. Send it behind your hip. Release your toes. Hands are on either side of the foot, but you could do it with your hands inside as well. One more breath. Kick your left heel to your left buttocks. Reach your right arm out and back and see if you can grab it here as well. So try to be off of your knee, not on top of your knee. If you had to go back to pick it up, then just lower your hips down as much as you can. Good. And then rotate your torso to look behind you. Keep hugging the right hip in for another breath. Then release the foot. Take the hands on the inside. Turn the toes outward. Breathe. Sink your hips a little bit lower. We're going to stay for just a couple more breaths. Good. One more breath. Tuck your left toes underneath you. Lift the knee up. And just again, step to a downward dog. Walk your dog. Adjust your hands. Shift into a plank pose. Choose to go to your knees or take your push up here. Shoulders in line with elbows. Lift your heart, thighs are off the floor. Downward facing dog, hips are in the air. Feet come together. Inhale. And exhale. Come on your toes and lift your left leg high in the sky. Good. Exhale, knee to chest, round and curl. Step your left foot between your two hands. Right hand stays, left hand to the hip, and then in the air for twist. Back leg is firm, so pull your right kneecap up. Hug your left hip in. Press down through your right arm. Use the block to give you a little bit of space from the floor to your body and give you more space to turn in. One more breath. Beautiful. Exhale. Hands down, straighten both legs. Fold over. Don't worry about if they get perfectly straight or not, but think about pushing your left pinky toe, big toe and pinky toe into the floor. Lengthen your spine, inhale. And exhale, fold over. One more breath. Inhale, walk to your right side. Turn yourself so your feet are parallel to the long edge of your mat. Inhale, hands to your hips, rise up to stand. Let's just keep the hands on the hips for now. And then turn the left toes to the front, right toes just a little bit of a turn in. And notice the right hip wants to bump up, so place your hands on your hips and just level it out for me. For you. Take your arms up shoulder height, keep that form. Inhale. And exhale. Move the hips to the right side. Move the torso to the left. And again, simultaneously, so there's still this lift in your torso. Left arm comes down, inside, outside, foot, shin, or a block. Right arm up, spin your heart open. Keep working your tailbone beneath you. Keep working your left hip towards the center or the front of your body. Breathe in, breathe out. Find space. You're being pulled in two directions. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Reach, reach, reach. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Inhale, take your right arm up and over your head. Exhale, spin it around, bend your knees. Place your hands on the inside of your left leg. Right knee, oh, we did outside. You could do either way, right? So inside or outside, right knee is down. Sink your hips. And then take your left arm, kick your right heel in, and reach for your foot. Again, you might back off to get to the foot, And then start to descend a little bit more. Heart lifts, kick your heel towards your buttocks. Hug everything close, close, close. Breathe in. One more breath. If you're holding the foot, let it go. Hands on the inside. Turn your left toes out. Sink a little bit lower. Good. Just let your hips drop down. Bring your hands inside, Karen. Both hands, yeah, now turn your toes out a little bit. Yeah, bet you didn't think I was watching. Okay. Take another breath. Hands firmly placed on the floor. Tuck your right toes underneath you. Downward facing dog, hips up. Inhale on your toes. Exhale, high plank pause. Choose your way back through a downward facing dog. So push-ups or no push-ups or extra push-ups. What's your body talking to you today about? Hips up in the air. Mine's talking about Shavasana. How about that? Breathe in, breathe out. Firm your arms. So lift the underarms up. Spiral your shoulders slightly open. Elbow creases turn a little bit upward. Pinky finger and pinky toe are strongly active and pushing towards the outer edges of your mat. Rise onto your tippy toes. Bend your knees. Look forward. Take yourself to the top of your mat. Halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, bring your arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, bring the arms by your side. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor, shins, blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step, step, high, low plank. Push up or not. Lift your heart, and we meet in downward dog. Feet together, right leg to the side. Right knee to chest round, curl, step it through. Good, left hand stays down, right arm opens up, twist. Right hand comes inside, turn a quarter turn to face left. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to your hips, rise up. Arms come up shoulder height. Inhale, turn the right foot forward, left foot towards the left corner of the mat. Square up your hips, hinge forward and reach out, triangle pose. Breathe in, breathe out. I don't like to rush through triangle. There's too many selling points in triangle to rush through it. So we really gotta take at least 3 breaths there. Right, selling points. Waist firmer, trimmer. Hip open. You know, this inner thighs, there's just so much going on. Now you can keep your left hand in the air or put it on your hip as you bend your right knee. Reach forward, and then come into your half moon. Beautiful full moons happening, right? Stack shoulders over hips, so we'll have to do the other side so we get our full moon. Once your hips and shoulders are stacked, you can release your left arm in the air. Think about your left leg making it a strong L. So it doesn't need to go very high, but keep it in line with your hip. And then hug the standing leg in. Yeah, breathe. Now, bend your left leg, the leg that's in the air. You don't have to hold it, so just bring the knee in line with the hip and flex the foot. We've done this, you know, a couple times on our knees already. One more breath. Keep kicking the heel to the buttocks. Exhale, bring your left hand down. Square your hips. Keep your knee bent. Put your block in front of you or your hand on the floor. Left arm holds onto the floor or block. Right leg begins to straighten. Right arm reaches back for your left foot. It may or may not find its way. So a revolved half moon, twist, bound. Ooh, that's a mouthful. Breathe in, open your chest, your heart to the right side, hug your right hip into the center. And then if you're holding on, release it slowly. Right arm up, left arm down. Bend your right knee. Left arm is back on the floor inside of your leg into your twist. Yeah? Full circle. Plant your left palm firmly on the ground. Choose your way to side plank. Ooh. Right arm up, left arm down. Lift your bottom side body up. Any variation, knee down, leg up, breathe, inhale. Keep pushing through the earth, lift your torso up and in. Stretch your right arm over your head. And then exhale, hands to the floor, down dog, hips up. All right. Feet come together. Inhale on your toes. Left leg lifts. Exhale, bring your knee to your chest, come forward. Step your left foot through. Right arm on the floor, left arm opens up for your twist. Exhale, left hand down. Turn a quarter turn to your right side of your mat. And just adjust your feet. Inhale, halfway up, hands to your hips. Rise up to stand. Arms up, shoulder height. Good. Turn your left toes forward, right toes towards the front edge of your mat. Hips move right, torso moves left. Reach out, give all that long length in the side body. Right arm comes up. And we hold for 3 breaths because there's just too much happening here to make it 1 breath. It feels too good. Breathe in if you think I'm crazy. Maybe I am. 2. And 1. Right hand can come to the hip or stay in the air. Bend your left knee. Place your hand in the front side or on a block. Float your right leg up. And then once you find your stacking, and there's no rush to it, and there's no rhyme to it either. Sometimes it happens right away. Sometimes it takes us a few moments. Then you can take your arm up. And even, perhaps, you look up to your hand. Even, perhaps, you look back at your foot. Is it level to your hip? That's really challenging, just so you know. So don't get hung up on it. Take another breath. Bend your top leg. Don't reach for it, just bend it. And then keep pushing down through your left foot to lift out of your hip. Breathe in and out. Keep the knee bent. We're going to empty the breath as the right hand comes to the floor, or perhaps right onto the block. Right leg is still bent. You can bend your left knee to get situated. Right hand on the block. Left hand is going to reach for your right foot. And then once you grab a hold of the foot, if you grab it, straighten your left leg and kick the foot away and begin to turn to the left side. It's a lot of work and it's a lot of stuff happening here all at the same time. Take another breath. Release the bind if you have it. Take your left arm out to the side or up and twist. And then rebend your knee so you're in a low lunge, right hand on the floor block. Good. Plant your right palm firmly and choose your way to your side plank here. Lift the right side of your body up so you can have your right knee on the floor. You can have both legs straight. And you can have your top leg doing whatever your body wants to do today. Lift up and up. Left arm over your head. 1 more breath, lift a little higher. Exhale, hand down. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. Good, bring your feet together. Inhale on your toes, right leg lifts high in the sky. Exhale, knee to chest, round curl, step it through. Left hand stays, right arm opens up, twist. Looking familiar, exhale, hands down. Turn a quarter turn to face the left side of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the hips, rise up. Bring the arms up shoulder height, turn your right toes forward, left toes a couple degrees forward, and then hinge into your triangle pose. Exhale, hold it here, lifting your knees up, rotating through the torso. Good, left arm over your head. And then bring it back up. Bend your right knee. Keep the hand up or bring it to your hip. Step into your half moon. Your full traditional half moon balance. Bend your top leg. Now if you want to hold it, hold it. Breathe. Open up your hips. So once you get a hold of it, you return to the line. Hip in line with knee, or knee in line with hip. Heel behind you. You can kick it in a little bit or you can push it away. You choose. Now I know you're holding on. So if you'd like to keep holding on, turn your hips squared. But then I want you to release the left hand down to the floor block And once again, grab it with your right hand. Spin it open. Whoops, where's my foot? Yeah, and breathe. Kick the foot and the hand away from each other now. Open up, twist. Listen. Good, let's just step the left foot back 2 to 3 feet. Keep the right arm in the air. And take your left hand inside, outside, foot shin or block for your twisted revolved triangle up pose. Hug your hips to center line. Level out the hips. So, let's see where we're at. Good. Good. Karen, if you have a block, bring it back further and higher. Just one step higher. And bring it closer to your foot. There you go. Good. Take another breath. Exhale, bring your hands down. If you have a block, you can just move it halfway to the right side of your mat. And then spin on both sides of your feet. So you're on the outer edges of both feet. Breathe in. Some of you will even keep your left hand down and turn the torso, right arm up. Hands down. Come back around to center. Bend your right knee, step your left leg all the way back. Keep your left hand down. Step back into your, you can take your twist first if you'd like, and step back into your side plank once again. Stay here, arm overhead, or bring your top leg up, bend it. Some of you might want to reach for it. You might have to bring it forward to do that, so it's tricky. No takers, okay. Maybe you at home are doing it. If not, bring your feet back together, take your hands to the floor, push your hips in the air, step your feet 1 foot forward, take your left hand to your right ankle, shin, foot, look under your right arm, twist. Pull your right hip towards the center, breathe. Let go. Step back to your down dog. Let's do a little cleansing. Come back to plank. Stay here for a breath. And then bend your elbows for a breath. Roll through for a breath. Roll back for a breath. Bring your feet together. Inhale, float your left leg high. Exhale, knee to chest, round curl, step it through. Right arm down, left arm up, twist. Exhale, hands down, turn to the right side of your mat. Adjust your footing. Inhale, hands to your hips, rise up. Arms up, shoulder height, turn your left foot forward, right foot turns a couple degrees. Reach forward and hinge back. Triangle pose, right arm up. Inhale and exhale. Stretch the arm over your head, open up your heart. Good, inhale, bring the arm up. Bend your front knee and step into your half moon pose. Good, find your footing first. Find your stability before you play with it, right? So if you want to play, you're going to bend your top leg. Some of you might even grab a hold of the ankle. Once you get it, line it up back with your hip if you had to move. I did. Take another breath. Good, now keep holding on if you are. Turn your hips square. And then release the hand, but keep the bend in the knee. Right hand to the floor block. Left hand comes to the foot. Kicking your foot and hand together. Arching up and then rotating your torso to the left. Start to straighten your left leg and hug it in. Breathe in and out. And then just return to your traditional half moon. On the exhale, step your right foot back 2 to 3 feet. Take your block with you closer to your ankle shin, inside or outside, and then rotate your torso. Crown of the head lines up with your tailbone. Falling over. That's it. Don't be too close in your the width of your legs, right? They're at least the width of your hips. One more breath. Good. Now exhale. Bring your hands to the outside of your left foot. If you have a block, move it halfway back. And then spin onto both edges of both feet. So pinky side of both feet. Left hand, if you'd like it up, turns it up. And release it. Turn it all the way forward. Step back into your low lunge. Right hand down, left arm up. And take your next step into your side plank. And choose if you want to try to bend the leg, maybe hold on to the ankle, kick the heel back. Oh, one more taker, very good. If you're holding on, let go, just come into your side plank. Exhale, hands to the floor, hips in the air, step your feet one step further, closer. Right hand to your left foot, shin ankle. Hug your hips to the midline. So while you're rotating the torso, hug your hips to the midline. Take another breath. And then release your hands to the floor. Step into your downward dog. Inhale high on your toes for a plank. Pause. One breath. Exhale, chaturanga, one breath. Or skip it, it's okay. Inhale, upward dog, one breath. Exhale, downward dog, one breath. Inhale, put high on your toes, bend your knees, look forward, take yourself to the top of your mat. Halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise to stand, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, take the prayer to your heart. Mountain pose, stand up tall. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Open your eyes and stand on one leg. Make it the left. Lift your right knee up. Lift it up in line with your hip. Take your right hand to your right knee or to your big toe. Left hand can go to your hip. Good. I'm going to face this way a little bit. Extend the leg or keep it bent. Oh my goodness. See, I'm falling all over the place. My YouTube viewers will say, what's going on? And then open your hip out. Think of it as triangle standing up. Release your arm. Bend the knee. Place it inside for tree. Anywhere but your knee. And then pull your left hip in. That's it, that's it. Turn your toes down. Open your hip out. Drop your knee down. And squeeze your inner thigh and your foot together. Really strong. Nice. Grow your tree if you'd like to, Michelle. Yes. Hands to your heart when you're done. Feet down on the floor. Separate your feet hips width apart. Forward fold over your legs. Take a peace finger grip around your big toes. Look forward. Inhale. Exhale. Pull the thumbs between the fingers and the toes and draw the elbows out to the side. Shift your hips forward. Weight forward. Shake out your head. Yes, no. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to your hips or heart. Rise up. Release your arms by your side. Find some stillness. Breathe. Open your eyes. Bend your left knee. Lift it up off the floor. Line it up with your hip. Hold on with your one hand or two hands, or take your peace finger grip again. Good, Michelle. Take your time getting into it. Extend the leg if you'd like. And then we open the leg out to the side. You might want to counterbalance with your right hand. I look at Lori. Drop that hip. Don't worry if it gets straight. Yeah. Now tuck your tailbone underneath you. It's a tricky pose, right? You want to. It's hard to keep the pelvis level. Good. Then bend the knee. Place it above or below the right knee, hands in prayer. Stay with it. Nice. And if you want to grow it, grow it. Hug your right hip in, tuck your tailbone underneath you. Any version with your arms. And then bring your hands to prayer, step down. Separate your feet, I'll go back this way. Forward fold once again. This time lift your toes up, slide your hands all the way underneath. Wrap your big toe around your wrist, look forward, inhale. Exhale, send the breath down and forward to your wrists. Get rid of all that chaturanga, push up, down dog, plank, resistance in your wrists. Inhale, halfway lift. Release your hands to your hips. Rise up. If you're not at the top of your mat, take a few steps forward. Bring your feet together, bring your arms by your side. Inhale, float the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, hands to floor, shins or blocks. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk or jump back, chaturanga, upward dog, and downward dog is where we all hang out. Breathe. Now, I hope if you have a block, get it nearby. Take your right leg in the air, open your hip this time. Keep your shoulders squared. Then bend the knee, keep the knee bent, round and curl. Bring the knee to the chest, and then bring the knee to the right wrist, and place your foot down. Take your block underneath your sitting bones. So you're in whatever variation of pigeon your body will accept, and if you can't do pigeon, then just go on your back. Tuck your back toes under, lift the knee up, and shimmy back. So the block underneath the sitting bone is going to keep your hips level. Stay nice and upright. I call this upright pigeon, right? Because we are. Then tuck your right toes under and kick the heel to the buttocks. Good. That may be enough. Some of you may be able to grab one. I know I can only do two hands mostly on one side. I guess this is the side that I can do it on. Lift your chest up. So keep staying upright as you kick your foot into your hand. Think of it as kind of a dancer's pose, but your hips are on the ground or on the block. Take another breath. Really stretch open your chest, shoulders, and if you're working with just one arm, if you have an affected arm as well, you can work with the other one. Take another breath. Gently let it go. And then you decide, you want to stay on the block for your pigeon, or come all the way down now. Squaring off the hips. Think about rolling that left hip towards the floor, the front of the hip. And that gets a little tricky for us. So again, the block will help keep your pelvis more level. And then just surrender over your legs. Think about lengthening your left leg all the way back as you draw the left hip bone towards the floor. Breathe in and out. Take another breath, everybody. Inhale, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift your chest, tuck your back toes underneath you, and take it back to a three-legged dog. Open up your hip. Let it go. Downward facing dog. Feet come a little closer together. Rise up on your toes, lift your left leg in the air. Open the hip out to the left side, bend and straighten the knee. And then turn a square knee to chest round curl. Left knee, left wrist. Right toes tucked underneath you. Grab your block and place it under your left sitting bones. Lift your chest up. Good. Just stay here for a moment. Just settle into it. Find the levelness of the hips. Check out your back foot. Make sure it's not really sickling in, so that'll keep the hip in that same squared off position. Then, I like to just give myself a little lift of the knee, kick the heel to the buttocks. And if you'd like to reach behind you, one or two hands, Oh, so today I can get both hands on both sides. I can't usually do that. So I'll take one or the other, and sometimes I'll just turn it around a little bit. So you just, in this position, decide which is the right place for you. How intense do you want to make it? Do you need to make it? Or is it intense enough just by being here? One more breath. Final kick of your hands in your heart. Slowly let go of the hands and the foot. Decide if you want to stay up on the block to come down on your pigeon. And then just square it off. Let the body surrender. Keep thinking about your right hip. The tendency is to lean to your left hip a little bit. Even if you think you're square, the left hip a little bit more. So concentrate on bringing the right hip bone towards the floor. Take another breath. Hands on the floor. Inhale, come up, tuck your toes. Take your left leg in the air, three-legged. 4 on the floor, downward dog. Take another vinyasa to clear the slate here. Take your time through it. So I gave you a breath per movement before. Think of it as a breath, a pause, and downward dog. Inhale, come to your knees on the mat. Come towards the middle, towards the top third of your mat, middle part of your mat, somewhere around there. Take your block and sit on it the long way, the short way, and bring your knees together. If this doesn't work for you, good. Then just adjust your legs to maybe a tree type of a pose. Or come up onto your knees a little bit higher. Good. So right now, sitting up Virasana, knees are together, ankles are pressing towards the block. And then take your hands behind you. Fingers can go in whatever direction feels right for you. You could also have another block behind you. Turning your fingers in for some might work. Good. Lift your chest up. So if you do wheel pose, try this pose with your fingers towards your toes. Lift your chest up. Again, options. Some of you will stay here. Some of you might start to come down to your forearms. And if you don't have the block and you can do it on your forearms, great. If you don't have the block or you can come into a little bit, it's a big back bend as you bring your head to the floor. So some of you can do this without the block. It's, been done in many lineages. So find a place just for 3 more breaths. I was just thinking, I didn't realize this song was right here. I was thinking how I love this song so much. Good. 1 more breath. Good. If you're anywhere on your back, your forearms, start to make your way back up. And stay on the block and just stretch your legs out in front of you. If you're not on the block, just come into Dandasana. Hands by your side. Plant your palms down. Lift your chest. Good. And now just for fun, because it's so much fun, press your palms down and lift your hips up. Purvottanasana. Front plank, reverse plank. And then lower it down. That was just to kind of stretch it out a little bit. All right. Bend your knees. You can just come up and lift the block up. Send yourself down to the mat. And roll all the way down to the floor. Take your time. Hug your knees back to your chest. Once again, right hand on right knee, left hand on left knee. Just make circles, opposing circles. Reverse it. And then draw your knees all the way up. Grab opposite elbows. Squeeze nice and tight. And then place your hands on your feet, your shins, your ankles, and place your feet onto the floor. Heels in line with sitting bones. Option to always have the block and use it under your hips. Tilt your pelvis and lift your hips up off the floor for bridge. Keep your head straight. I'm just turning around to look at you guys. Walk your arms underneath your underneath your shoulders, underneath your back. Reach your hands down towards your heels. Energetically pull your heels towards your hands and your hands towards your heels. And then energetically point your knees forward. And just rest on the top of your shoulders. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Release your hands. Upper mid, lower back to the floor. Turn your knees towards each other like we started way back when. Now we're going to do 2 more. So you can go right into you're prepped for this, to go into your wheel if you take wheel, or take another bridge, or if you have a block and you want to lift it on one of the 3 heights, take that. So tilt your pelvis, come into your bridge. If you're coming to wheel, hands by your shoulders, fingers point forward, top of the head lightly to the floor, and then you push all the way up. And then work your heels closer together, or your legs closer together. You don't want to be in a wide, split open position. So think about, and if you need to, put a block between your knees. Think about having a block between your knees, squeezing into the block, pressing down through your hands and feet to lift up. If you're in a bridge, it's all the same. If you're supported, take your support out, upper, mid, lower back to the floor. Draw the knees back towards each other one more time. You've got your 3rd time. 3rd time's a charm. You've got your choice of what is going to satisfy you in this last back bend. So heels line up with your sitting bones. Tilt your pelvis. Come into bridge and take your hands by your shoulders if you're going there. And any variations on that theme as well. Heels come closer. Squeeze the knees like there's a block between them. Push down to lift up. Good. Release the top of your head, upper mid, lower back to the floor. Take your knees to your chest. Open your arms to a T. Shift your hips right, let your knees fall to the left. If you have the space, extend your legs out. So for me, I like to think about drawing my right hip, which is my top hip, towards the right side, while my legs pull towards the left side. Even if my knees were bent, I'd be doing the same thing. Good. Inhale, take your top leg up. Take your other leg up. Bend your knees in, round and curl. Exhale, open the arms, move your hips left, let your knees fall right. If you have the space, extend your legs out. Think about drawing your left hip towards the left side, feet towards the right side. Inhale. Make sure you didn't freeze on me. And exhale. Good, you guys there. Come back to center. Okay, there you are. Music stopped, but you're still there. Okay. Good. Hug your knees all the way in. Lift your head and shoulders up. And now keep your head and shoulders up, extend your legs up. Reach your hands to your feet. Lift your hips off the floor, lift your shoulders off the floor. Breathe in, breathe out for 3, for 2, and for 1. Hug your knees to your chest. Keep your right leg in, stretch your left leg long. Switch legs. And then lower both legs to the earth. Release the arms by your side. Let your hips splay open. Close your eyes and settle in for your final Shavasana. If there's anything you need to do to make that more comfortable for you, breath, come back to your natural pattern, and draw your knees to your chest. Take yourself onto either side, and make your way back to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands to your heart center. As always, I'm so grateful that you're here to share this practice with me. Thank you for being part of this really important time in our lives. Sharing, communicating. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace to all. And as we bow down to each other, we honor the peace, the love, the light, the goodness, the beauty within. Namaste. So, go in peace. Those of you at home, stay fit, stay healthy. Get back to